Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club, and they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason, and that can take you deep into January.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
Here we go. 15 line. 15 line. Get off the field.
On first down, Lacy. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Well, let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
It's been quite the evolution for Stephon Diggs because when he came out of high school, many thought he was the top prospect going into college football. Didn't have quite the career that was expected and actually got drafted lower than what many people thought. But, boy, is he playing to a top level now while he's in Minnesota.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Ready.
To throw again. Lacy open here, Adam Thielen.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
On first down, Rodriguez. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And the offense on the field for the first time today, and they were high-powered a week ago.
And they're beginning to believe that they've established a groove. They expect those type of performances each and every week. Running it, throwing it, they're precise.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
Now Allen. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, it's Henry. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. That is caught at the 7. The game in sync and moving the football. It's a first down.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, they have to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
Set, ready. Hey, come on. Rush in, rush in, rush in. Check 50.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 10 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
And they've already clinched a playoff berth, so I'm eager to see how they approach this game, because some teams' philosophy is to go ahead and get guys out. Other teams' philosophy, continue to do what you're doing best. I expect them to go ahead and use their top guys all the way through this one.
2nd down and goal. Allen, and he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. leads out as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. A look now at the defensive starters for the Saints. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing again. Lacey completes it to Hardman. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on 3rd down. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. They were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And the division title out of reach. We know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, it's Rodriguez. He'll get 3 up to midfield. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handling those runs that aren't working now. They turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
from midfield. Here's Allen. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. David Onyemata, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago. And it's the Bears who are off to the early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
Set 60 Pittsburgh.
First down, here's the run with Cook. After the play, not a good sign. Dalvin Cook staying on the ground. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the gun, Lacy, and it's caught. The tight end Hill. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. It's a second down run with Sanders. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll try and run forward with Sanders. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they can very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. It'll be a Saints first down on a gain of 16 yards.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Danielle Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in a long-distance situation. You might come back.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Danielle Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
And now out comes Minnesota. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a section and try and run some offense that way?
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Sanders. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Looking to throw. Lacey looking left side. He's got it. Complete. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
On the draw, here's Sanders. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Back to throw. Lacy under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Returnable for Grant. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Now Allen firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
It's a gain of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Looking to throw. Lacy. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Sheldon Rankins in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
2 sacks last week. Another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. On third down, they turn to Sanders. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Watch time. Tight end roll.
Working out of the shotgun, here's Allen. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Allen, he'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And incomplete, almost intercepted. Had a great shot of picking that off in the end zone. And now 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's on to punt for New Orleans. And there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Here we go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
On 2nd down now. It's Sanders, and he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. And it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. Devontae Parker, a touchdown reception. From there, we head up to Wisconsin to check out the Packers at home in Lambeau. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Lions. The Packers just could never turn the corner this year, but they could get to 6-9 with a victory. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last as we head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys trying to finish that one off and claim victory. Meanwhile, in our game, just the lone touchdown accounting for all the scoring. A tight one, 7-0 is the score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. Allen now looks to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep ball.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Allen to throw. Throwing again. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the 1st down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little... of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Operating from the gun, Lacey. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. From the gun, Lacey. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here's Riley Dixon now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. This is taken at about the 14. Give them 11 yards that time on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And what would you say? Is it the offensive line that has caused a lot of this pressure to get back there?
That's always the first place that you have to look to see what's going on. But part of it is so difficult to simulate this type of pass rush in practice because the speed, the ferocity, the quickness, some of the change-ups and how they get at the quarterback that you may not have seen on film, all that is different. You can practice it as much as you want to. You can even insert smaller, faster guys in positions to show that the speed's going to be quicker. But until the whistle blows and you play for real, it's just not the same.
And not as easy to implement on game day. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
90,
They'll keep it on the ground. Dudley. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with third down looming. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And out now come the Vikings. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Push him back. Push him back.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 33-yard line.
Got it. Is the mic. 47 is the mic. Coming. Whip.
Now a carry for Sanders. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Saints' 29-yard line. If they're going to try to complete this comeback, they need more runs like that from him because until that point, he's been virtually shut down.
And based on where they are right now in this game, you would expect the ball to be in the air. But his ability to break off those types of runs, you can get big chunk plays on the ground as well, and he just provided one.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Off play action. Lacy, he's going to let it go deep for the ends, and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Extra point by McCrane, up and good. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Following the touchdown, McCrane set to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Hey, 4 down.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
10-2 stop. We got 4.
Operating from the gun. Perkins. He's going to loft one deep left, and that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for the Saints. 42 yards.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, Perkins. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. David Onyemata make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Perkins going for it all. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there, creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Lutz puts this one through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. That's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2nd and 2. His throw incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that 1st down gain of 8. Here's Riley Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Fielded at the 20. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And you can see they're in second place in the division, but they have clinched postseason football. They have the best record among the wild card contenders, but you never really feel comfortable when you're down around that 5 or 6 slot, do you?
No, you don't. You figure you've got to close the deal. You've got to make sure you clinch that spot to make sure you keep your place in the tournament, in the playoffs. But the other part, too, is the coaching staff. All year they've talked about getting a high seed, clinching home field. Now that talk changes to, hey, we're in. That's all that matters. Let's go on the road and take care of business.
That's a 39-yard line.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up. That looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open. And this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. The Saints on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Perkins. Able to find Harris, complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Ready? 30 base.
To throw on 2nd down, Perkins. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
The Saints first down there on a gain of 11. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Ready, ready.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Watch twins. Watch twins. Do. And get it.
Derrick Henry. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Boy, tight game like this, 4th quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Now a give, right side. Dudley, and he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. So there the defense denies the rookie of his potential first career touchdown.
And his first NFL touchdown celebration. I wonder if he's thought about it, if he has something cooked up in his head as he worked out with his team, and think about the celebration back home when he finally scores his first touchdown.
You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. We'll see what he does.
Well said, sir. Well said.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dudley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Operating from the gun. Perkins. He gets it complete to Harris. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Lutz's kick is good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So that's a big one. Obviously, Charles makes it a 2-score game. His 3rd field goal of the game, able to knock it through.
Yeah, not exactly free and clear yet, but as a defense, you get to play a little bit looser, don't you? Because you do now have a little bit of a margin of error, don't you?
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Let's go, B. Big series right here. So we got to step it up.
Throwing on 1st down. Lacey. Pass incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lacey finding Hardman here over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. So the 14 yards actually takes them from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. From the gun, Lacey. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his 2nd drop of the game. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. On fourth down, Lacey. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Eli Apple. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
I
don't know about that. Super tough.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory.
Check nickel. You draw quarters. Snap.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dudley. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Dudley. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Switch. Under 10. 10.
Going to give this time to the tailback. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. Moore inside the 30. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
You ready? 57 to Mike. Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
They'll run on first down. Dudley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They will take the knee here, and they will finish this regular season with a victory.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for New Orleans, a final win here means they'll finish off the regular season at a solid 13-3. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll limp to the finish line with a final record of 5-11. And this is a team that has a few good pieces in place, but could stand to get deeper and younger all around. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.